What's going on, my fellow YouTubers? This is Ricky J, baby, from Ricky J Sports, and after 2 years of rock'em sock'em action using MJ and climbing up the standings, we are finally doing a final review of EA Sports UFC 2. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Now, before we get started, people, I just want to let you guys know how long I've been playing this game. I've been playing this game for as long as it's come out, man, and I've been doing really well, man, improving. In my second account, I have lately a 92 winning percentage, and I'm really kicking butt and taking names, taking out guys that I would not typically take out, like grapplers, like this guy, Hoist Gracie right there. But dating back to when I first started playing this game, I used to always use Neil Magny, and my buddy Marshall Mine would always laugh and say every time I see Neil Magny online, he would always think he's facing off against Ricky J Sports. But I had it rough to start out, man, because I would always lose to these tough guy brawlers, like these Robbie Lawler, that rhymes, Lawler Brawler. But even guys like Tyron Woodley and even the grapplers, man, Damian Maia, Hoist Gracie, just name a few, Jacare and all that. But that's all because of the lack of tutorial, man, that's in this game. The tutorial in the game is very basic, but it doesn't teach you the jumping guillotines. It doesn't teach you how to deny certain positions. And that's what made this game very frustrating. And I'm sure it's frustrating for all of you guys that first picked up this game and you didn't really know what to do in those tough spots when you were on the mat or on the feet or in the clinch, man. Tell me about it. So it wasn't until I started making those tutorial videos that I understood how to deny, like say in stack guard, and how to get out of those tough spots. So if I had to criticize the game for EA Sports UFC 2, they didn't really give you that good detailed tutorial on how to get out of every single situation. Now, as far as the ground game's concerned, I love the ground game. Nothing's better than denying your opponent's transitions and then developing a game plan and executing it. As I progressed playing this game, I ended up being really good at faking my transitions, going one way and then going another way, keeping my opponent guessing, and really mixing things up on the ground made it a lot of fun. It was a chess match, man. It was like playing chess, but in MMA. And that's what made it a lot of fun, especially when you faced a guy that was at that same level as you. The ground game was fun. But to knock it, when you would face somebody that was at a different level, because they're using guys like Khabib with dominant top games, it made it almost impossible to survive. It made it almost impossible to do anything offensive while you're facing a guy that is just superior when it comes to the grappling stats. So hopefully in the next version they don't have that where you just feel like you can't do nothing. Even guys like Hoist Gracie's, you feel like you can't do anything because they're just so dominant on the mat. So that's the only knock, is when you're facing somebody that has better stats in the grappling realm, it made it impossible for you to survive in most cases. Now, as far as the clinch game, you guys know it. The clinch game was tough because when your opponent would get you into tie, it was so powerful and so dominant, and I would always just freak out when I would get into this position because I know, man, one knee could be my downfall. But once I started figuring out the whole game, figuring out that you just need to relax in this position, the clinch game wasn't that bad. I would like to see them not have the crazy tie strikes to be so deadly, because do you really see a lot of people finishing fights in tie? And in the UFC game, man, most guys would just get you in tie and just flatline you with a knee or an elbow. So in the next game, I'm hoping that the clinch game is not so dominant and people can just relax and, you know, kind of get out of it. You could still do some damage, hopefully, but not the crazy damage that you could do in EA Sports UFC 2. As far as the stand-up game's concerned, I really love putting together crazy combos and knocking my opponent out. I also loved how it was a stamina type of strategy-based system where you had to make sure that your stamina was up in order to do damage, and if your opponent got lazy, you could really take advantage of opportunities. But as far as at a realistic standpoint, the striking wasn't the most realistic, to be honest, because some of the shots that I would take, man, or some of the shots I would dish out didn't seem natural, didn't seem that it could be done in a real fight, you know what I mean? Like, what I would love to do is I always love to do a body punch and then a high kick, or a high kick and then a body punch. I'd always mix it up, but it didn't seem natural how, most guys could do a body punch, body kick, body punch, body kick, and flow that combo together and really do damage. So even though it wasn't realistic, I still really liked the stand-up game. I loved incorporating my kicks and punches, but if I had to be kind of on the pessimistic side, I would say that a lot of the combos that you would string together weren't really natural. So hopefully in the next game, they can put the simulation aspect into this game and not allow you to do some silly combos. Even doing 4 body punches and then a jumping knee. It just didn't seem natural, but hopefully if you do that in the next game and you miss, like they said in the description of the next game, the reward is high, but the risk is high as well. So you don't want to do too many crazy things inside the octagon or else you're going to get KO'd. But as a whole, I really like the stand-up game in UFC 2, man. It was a lot of fun. Now, as far as the career mode is concerned, man, it had so much promise because you would start out trying to win your way inside the Ultimate Fighter house, trying to get drafted by Miesha Tate or Ronda Rousey. So you really had to make your mark in your first fight and see what round you're going to get drafted in. And the beginning, I was pumped when I was playing the career mode because you can create your own fighter. I love how EA Sports has the whole game face action where you can make your own face inside the game. But after a while, after you do all the training, all the, the fights to get yourself the Ultimate Fighter prize, man, or the Ultimate Fighter championship, it ended up being stale after a while because it just seemed like you train, fight, and those training sessions were tedious. It was nice that they allowed you to simulate it, but there was no element of surprise because in any career, especially the UFC, there's always that element of surprise. You don't know what's going to happen, and if you're going to be offered a certain fight or move camps or things like that. It just seemed like it was a straight line with this career mode. You fight, you get a title shot, you keep on fighting. They did have that part when you are training that you got injured or the lights went out in your gym so you missed the training session. But all in all, the career mode was stale, man. It didn't feel like you were connected. I know a lot of people play the Fight Night series and they said that career mode was unbelievable. You felt like you were really in there, man, really in there battling it out. So the career mode for EA Sports UFC 2, man, was not the greatest. It was probably the weakest point of the game, in my opinion. And my final thought on the game is on the Ultimate Team mode. And when I first started out playing Ultimate Team, it was fun, man. It was fun building up my fighters, creating my Celebrity Survivor Series team. That's how I like to call it. It was fun until you started facing these maxed out fighters, and that just killed the fun out of the game. I hope in the next game they cap off these customized fighters, man. No fighter in the world should be 100 all across the board. And the sad thing was, when I was playing the game, building up my fighter, going on a 10-fight win streak, the servers or the game would match me up against a guy that had over 1,000 fights that was 100 overall, and I would just get destroyed. It just wasn't fair, and that took the fun out of the game, the wind out of my sails. I didn't want to play the Ultimate Team mode just because I felt like I was at a disadvantage. People were buying cards, buying packs to upgrade their guy, and then I wasn't doing that. But after a while, facing off against those 100+ overall guys or the 100 overall guys just became stale after a while. So I'm hoping maybe, it'd be cool if they had a division, which was the division where people wouldn't buy their packs, man, and then you could just face people that didn't buy their stats, you know what I mean? But the Ultimate Team mode was fun, but it just was overpowered by those people that would buy their cards and maximize their fighter, or people that just had maxed out fighters. So as a whole, I didn't really enjoy Ultimate Team, man. I know this sounds crazy, but I didn't really enjoy it just for the simple fact that I was at a disadvantage. My favorite mode in the game was Ranked. Ranked was the best mode because I felt like I always had a chance to win no matter what. No matter who I was facing, I had a chance. So anyhow, people, to cap off this video, my final thoughts on EA Sports UFC 2. You know, I played it for 2 years. It was an unbelievable game. I really enjoyed it. If I had to give it an overall rating, man, you guys may be surprised. I would give it an 8 out of 10. Yeah, I know you guys may seem surprised, but an 8 out of 10 just because, you know, the career mode wasn't immersive. Ultimate Team, it was overpowered by those crazy guys, like I said, that buy their packs and all that. And Rank was the only mode that I really enjoyed. So let me know what your thoughts are on the final rating. If you had to rate this game, what would you give it? I gave it a solid 8 out of 10, and I think that's a solid score. If Ultimate Team and Career Mode was decent, I would definitely give it a 9 for sure. But let me know in the comment section below. And yeah, man, the beta's coming out. I'm excited. Hopefully I'll get my hands on that. If not, no worries. But let me know what your thoughts are on EA Sports UFC 2, the final review. Anyhow, people, this is Ricky J, baby, from Ricky J Sports, and you are awesome.